West Virginia basketball and Bob Huggins got great news today as a very important piece to the 2023-2024 season has announced he will play in Morgantown next year. Who am I talking about? We're going to get to that on the other side of the intro on this episode of Hoops from the Hills. What is up, guys, and welcome in. My name is Mountaineer Paul, and I want to welcome all of you guys out there watching this to Hoops from the Hills. My partner, Coos, is having family time today, and he couldn't be on the show with me. We're trying to get content up on this thing. It's off season for basketball for most programs right now. West Virginia University just got some huge news going into next season and building upon what was a tournament run from Bob Huggins and company in 2022. In a viral tweet, Jose Perez, who was famously denied a waiver to play in this past season with the West Virginia Mountaineers, and what was a pretty good basketball team that made the tournament, would have made that team even better. This is the preseason player of the year. When he played at Manhattan College, Steve Masiello was fired literally days before the season began, and so Jose Perez and a myriad of other Manhattan players went in the transfer portal. And here Jose is saying, let's clear the air. And in this clip, I encourage you to go to WVU men's basketball Twitter page and check this out, or Jose Perez's Twitter page, or a myriad of other Mountaineer fans around the country that retweeted this, and listen to Jose's message to Mountaineer fans. I won't spoil it for you here, but it's really good. So back to what I was saying. Steve Masiello was fired literally days before the season started for a lot of these players in Manhattan College. And so while a lot of these kids were close to him and they're right, they transferred. Well, because a lot of these kids waited so long to transfer, and it was already so close to the date anyway, league year or for the NCAA is a certain point in time. And if you stay past a certain point in time, you're considered to have played in that fiscal year. Basically, on a technicality, Jose Perez was denied a waiver to play this year, but was told he got a full year back for next year. Big thanks to the NCAA, he spent 1 or 2 days of the fiscal year with Manhattan. I don't even think they practiced. And so the Free Jose tweets started, and really, I think there was a lot of public pressure on the NCAA. Also, Marianne Riley was shown to be the true villain of this situation. And it's been shown on several different occasions that she has been really bad to her players at Manhattan College. She was especially vindictive in the Jose Perez situation, going so far as to basically oppose his transfer, even though she fired the coach. It makes no sense. And so it was Jose Perez's fault when he decided to transfer to a new school. Anyway, he's been at West Virginia for going on 6 to 8 months now, really gotten acclimated to West Virginia, and he decides he's going to come back. So what does this mean for West Virginia University and the basketball team and Bob Huggins going forward? Well, I think Jose Perez, I've been very vocal about this, is a huge piece. He would have been a huge piece to this past year's team, but he's such a ball-dominant player and takes such a high volume amount of shots. I think he and Eric may have clashed a little bit. Not in a bad way, just on the court. They both are very ball-dominant type players. I still think he would have found a role to help this team. But Jose is basically going to give him the reins to run this team coming into next season. There were reports that he was scoring on everybody in practice in Morgantown, that he really showed out in a lot of the practices this past year. And a lot of people think that he's going to take another step forward as a guy who was a preseason player of the year, MAAC, this past year. He's already been at work recruiting. We know that. Omar Silverio has come in, who is a knockdown three-point shooter, a guy that's a double-digit scorer, is already on board. West Virginia returns James Okonkwo, possibly Jimmy Bell. We're not really sure about his status yet. The thoughts that Trey Mitchell and Joe Toussaint and a few other kids are going to return on this squad. This squad is turning out to look really good going into next year. Not going to get too excited yet. Still want to wait and see exactly what's going to happen. West Virginia has hosted some of the best players in the transfer portal in the last couple of weeks. I mean, they're really swinging for the fences for Bob Huggins' last few years, and I think they're going to do everything in their power, financially, whatever you want to call it, to get these kids in Morgantown. The Pac-12 assist leader, Kerr Kriisa, has already been in Morgantown and is reportedly heavily interested in the Mountaineers. We know he has a connection to Xavier with his old coach being there. Frisch's big boy, I like to call him, is Miller, the coach at Xavier, kind of looks like the Frisch's big boy. But anyway, I say all that to say this was big news for West Virginia. Jose is an elite recruiter as a college basketball player. He's also an elite player, at least based on his previous years. He's, like I said, over 18 points per game. We can expect that to drop 5 to 6 points probably in the Big 12, but he's still going to be a double-digit guy and a leader for this team at the point guard spot. Possibly he moves over to the 2 or 3. He's able to post up smaller guards. Jose's a big guy. If you haven't looked into any of his Gardner-Webb or Manhattan College tape, go check it out. He is very crafty, very good player, can shoot the ball. He's going to be a good addition to this Mountaineer team. I'm interested to know how you guys feel about that. Guys, if you haven't liked this video by now, give the video a like. And if you're not subscribed to Hoops from the Hills, we would love to see you guys come through with a subscription to Hoops from the Hills. And also, guys, let's have a dialogue about the Jose Perez deal. We would love to hear from you guys. Comment and subscribe. Like. We want all that stuff. But most of all, we're just grateful you're watching the video, guys. We really appreciate it. Let us know how you feel about it all. We'll be waiting to hear from you. We'll answer your comments as we get to them. Coos will be back here in the next couple of days. We'll hopefully get another video out. Hopefully we have another transfer to talk about. If you just look it up on Google, just type in WVU basketball transfers, you'll see West Virginia has reached out to literally every notable transfer in the nation going into this next season. And it's going to be hard for some of these kids to say no to play for a Hall of Famer like Bob Huggins, which is great for the recruiting spiel, and also a team that's got a little bit of money to throw at. Hiding my cat. You can see my cat in the background. So that's the deal with all this. Hope you liked the video, guys. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been another edition of Hoops from the Hills. My name is Mountaineer Paul. This episode is over. I am out.